Michael Bordonaro. Bordonaro. Sorry if I mispronounced his name. I'm not sub to this channel, so I'm not telling you all to sub or not to sub. Some of you may have heard of him anyway. I didn't put him up for real estate purposes. The reason I put his stuff up is because his clips from his channel recently played on another channel that I'm not sub to called Legion of Men. And he said something on those clips that was very disturbing about winter. And that is people having to pay higher utility bills. I feel fortunate that despite the fact we don't use our wood stove, that I do have one. And the next time I get paid, I got to get some creosote logs to be prepared for that in case we have a power outage. And worst case scenario, I'll need to use the wood stove. Because the bottom line is, you're on electric, you're on the grid. And people say, well, you should have gotten propane and gas, but if your house is gas and gas go up, then what? Well, wood also costs money. Yeah, but you can learn to chop wood, right? So this is what I'm getting at. In that video, he was talking about some areas. And if you live in those certain areas of the country, you know what I mean, where in the wintertime, your heating goes up significantly. So I'm going to read y'all a quick article from the Farmer's Almanac. And in that article, it will discuss pretty much what you can expect according to your state and to your area this coming winter. So, without further ado, here's the article. The Old Farmer's Almanac has predicted what's in store for each state this winter. The publication, which claims to be the longest running published periodical in the country, released its 2025-2026 U.S. winter weather forecast on Sunday, revealing mild, dry, and cold conditions for states across the country this upcoming season. The Old Farmer's Almanac, released in 1792, found that Maine, Vermont, New Hampshire, Massachusetts, Rhode Island, and Connecticut are expected to have a mild and dry winter. California, Alaska, Hawaii, Iowa, Wisconsin, Michigan, the Dakotas, Tennessee, Mississippi, Alabama, Louisiana, and Arkansas are also in for similar conditions, the publication found. Meanwhile, Texas, Oklahoma, Kansas, Nebraska, New Jersey, Maryland, New York, Missouri, Delaware, and a majority of Montana could experience mild and dry winter season. Other states, including Idaho, Nevada, Utah, and Colorado, are in for a mild but wet season. Parts of Washington, the state, of course, Wyoming, Oregon, Texas, and the Oklahoma panhandles are predicted to see the same, according to the Almanac, an annual calendar of statistical information and important dates. The states that are expected to endure a snow-filled winter include West Virginia, Ohio, North Carolina, and Virginia. A mild and snowy mix has been forecasted for New Mexico, West Texas, and parts of Arizona. The Old Farmer's Almanac issued a dry and cold winter season for portions of Illinois, Indiana, Kentucky, Pennsylvania, Georgia, and South Carolina. Florida, known for its heat and sunshine, is the only state expected to be hit with a cold and wet winter. Carol Conner, editor of the Old Farmer's Almanac, said winter is considered the Sunshine State's dry season. Since winter is Florida's dry season, it doesn't take much more moisture to make it wetter than normal. We're calling for more precipitation than usual in November and February and less than normal for December, January, and March, so slightly more precipitation overall for winter, Conner told Newsweek. She noted that temperatures are also predicted to be slightly lower than normal because of dips in the jet stream sending cold fronts in Canadian air south into Florida during the heart of winter. The Old Farmer's Almanac, which has been described as a piece of history that stood the test of time, is also available for sale online. In January, New Jersey lawmakers declared a state of emergency ahead of an intense snowstorm. The Garden State's Governor Phil Murray made the announcement just before an Arctic blast barreled through earlier this year. Then, in February, a major winter storm consumed 27 U.S. states, causing dangerous road conditions and power outages. Nearly 2,000 Americans were lashed with snow, ice, and flood as an intense map showed how many feet of snow were set to hit states countrywide. Several states, including Nebraska, Illinois, Kentucky, and North Carolina, were told to brace for impact. There were at least 16 significant winter and blizzard related events that took place across America this past year, according to the National Weather Service's Weather Prediction Center. Don't misunderstand me. I do believe the Old Farmer's Almanac based on predictions when they say this is going to be a mild winter for most of us. What difference does it make if it's mild and we're still paying high utility costs to keep our houses warm? I'll use me for example. We don't get a lot of snowstorms in the state of Washington. Well, we do in certain areas like Stevens Pass and up in the mountains. The closer you live up in the mountains, obviously it's going to dump snow for you. But it's hardly ever predictable. So what I'm saying is that we get a particular cold and rain that can sometimes slow down temporarily and last for days. So with that being said, the cold rain doesn't help it for us out here, which it does. I love the ambiance of it. So what am I saying with this? You need to have preparedness according to your area. If you're not careful, this is going to creep up on people. And it can be just like Texas when no one was expecting that grid to go down and people froze. Why am I telling you this and why is this important? We're at a point now where winter is the determinant of how you're going to survive in this country. When people say winter is coming, they mean that figuratively and literally. Most of the time you can take it figuratively to mean, oh, if you're not prepared, you're going to pay the price. Now you must take it literally. If you're not prepared, you're going to pay the price. And I understand some of y'all wanting to celebrate your holidays. I understand some of y'all wanting to enjoy yourselves and have a good time. Just bear in mind that the way that your great-grandparents lived, most of you that are alive now, because your great-grandparents, most of them are all passed away. You're going to have to go back to that in some capacity to survive in the United States now. And that's not something people want to hear, but be honest, winter is the barometer for that because in the summer it can get hot, yes, but you can always hydrate, drink lots of water and keep hydrated to keep that down and eat foods that help hydrate you. There are ways, modern ways to keep hydrated. When you live in extreme cold, there's only so much covering up you can do before that overwhelms you. So Godspeed to those of you who aren't prepared for winter. Because even if a winter is mild, if you're not prepared for it, it can come back to get you. I think overall this is good news, but I also think it buys us time to get ready for the years to come because things aren't going to get good. The fact that tariffs have changed things, is a signal that you have to get with local markets to see how to survive this. All right, y'all let me know what y'all think. Get ready for winter. It listed just about all of the states and what you can prepare for. Figure out which state is yours in the old almanac and be ready. See y'all soon.